started. We're getting started. If anybody has any questions, we got one person in here. Appreciate you that you were waiting and ready to get into this live. That pretty much never happens. Do you have a question? Whoever is in here right now, do you have a question regarding the hobby? Because these discussions I'm hoping to build on will be us talking about the hobby, talking about what sets we're going to buy, what products we're going to buy, what cards we think could potentially be undervalued. So yeah. Yo, what up, market? So what do you think is the set to be going after right now? The more I compartmentalize everything, I'm like, it seems like it's not Sun and Moon that we should be focused on. It seems like we should be focused on maybe Heart Gold, Soul Silver era, maybe Black and White era, maybe XY era. A lot of people dog on XY, but honestly, those full art cards are really, really beautiful. Like the mega full art cards, those look really sick in my opinion. I've been watching a lot of those, so I kind of wanted to talk about that during this live discussion and get people's thoughts. Like I feel like not a lot of people here are XY singles. Yeah, so. And, you know, I know, so it's all about, like, search terms, right? It's all about search terms, what search terms we're using, what, like, phrases and keywords we're using. So, like, for Sun and Moon, it seems like it's definitely Sun and Moon, or if you're looking at Japanese, SM alternate art, you know, SM full art. But really, it's all about the alternate arts. Those are the cards that are really being affected the most. You're seeing these GX cards move a little bit. You know, all of the tag team cards, you know, basically anything that's got these tag teams. Everybody's talking about the Sun and Moon stuff lately, but I don't know why. I feel like I'm forcing myself to be really into the Sun and Moon stuff. Like, don't get me wrong. Some of those alternate arts, the Tyranitar and the Sableye, the Blastoise and the Piplup, you know, I talked about this on my video today, but my video was short because I wanted to do a live and I wanted to see comments from the live. I wanted to get a discussion kind of started about all this stuff. Not to really influence the market because my channel could never have that kind of impact. But I do think that everyone here who's supported me should benefit from this discussion and be on board with it. Chaos. Honestly, bro, you're right. Went a bit nuts lately on Sun and Moon, and while I do love the cards, it's for sure because of the hype. Right? I'm disappointed in myself because I've never collected due to hype before. So I have fallen into hype, and in some cases, the FOMO is totally worth it, right? Like the Latias and the Latios card, if you can get that card for $1,000 or like $1,200 in a 9, maybe that could be worth it down the road. That 9 could be like a $5,000 card. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying the Latios card, that could be like the Gold Star Rayquaza in a couple years. Like I don't know. But I feel like I started FOMOing hard in the Sun and Moon, and now I'm like, whoa. I'm going to let that set come back down to earth first. It might not happen with some of the Grail cards, but it should happen with some of the less sought after kind of alternate art cards that I still want. Like the Tyranitar and the Sableye. That card should not be a $200 card right now. But I feel like Black and White is really undervalued, and so is XY. And I definitely want to see what everybody thinks about that. I don't want to hype those up too much. Like, let's not forget about Diamond and Pearl. Chaos, I know you said you're not a huge fan of Diamond and Pearl, but I think Secret Wonders is a great example. Secret Wonders is actually a really good set from Diamond and Pearl. It has a phenomenal Charizard that is so undervalued right now. And I know I'm a huge Charizard boob, but I do think it's undervalued. For the first time ever, my phone case is actually being kind of weird. I didn't even mean to pin that message. I don't know what I'm doing. The hype crept into Sun and Moon. Market Scraper. The hype crept into Sun and Moon already and will likely make its way to older sets, or who knows what will happen. But why that doesn't make sense to me is it shouldn't be creeping into Sun and Moon first. I mean, I hope it makes it into the older sets, but I'm honestly thinking, no, Sun and Moon was just recent enough that people are looking at it. Like, maybe it doesn't creep into black and white. Maybe it doesn't creep into XY. Maybe people just don't care about the quality of the cards, and it's all going to be driven on a hype train right now. Because, like, honestly, guys, if you look, and I've got a lot of cards in the mail. I've been going crazy with XY full arts and black and white full arts, as well as just buying a lot of stuff for the older sets. But you guys are going to see some special cards come through here, and they are going to blow your mind if you haven't seen them already. One that I'd love to recommend is the Gyarados. The Gyarados from XY Breakthrough. The Gyarados Secret Rare, featuring Greninja and I can't remember who else that card is featuring in it. But anyways, that Secret Rare is absolutely gold borders. It's phenomenal. And like that card's so undervalued right now. All right, SDC, hype over everything. Hype FOMO is so addictive. It is. And hey, a lot of us FOMO'd into the Moonbryon, but that wasn't the worst decision ever. Like, some cards are worth FOMOing into, in my opinion. I might be a noob. I might have only been in this hobby for a couple of years, but I do look at cards like the Umbreon, and I look at cards like that Latios, and I'm like, this card's not going to come back down from here. There's a chance that you might be able to get a raw one for like 500 or 600, like maybe a couple months from now or something. It needs to die down a little bit, but it'll be really interesting to see where it picks back up, if it can potentially hold being a $3,000 PSA 10 card. Chaos, it really hit me when my friend said he could either buy the Latios or a clean, shining Charizard. Yeah, but I will say that Latios it's a beautiful card. Oscar, what up? Bless, thank you for coming out. We are having a discussion on older sets, on why are they being ignored, why are beautiful cards being ignored. Calvin, really enjoy Diamond and Pearl. And I want to talk about that because I'm starting to flesh out those sets. Diamond and Pearl sets are not big, one. The cards are super cheap, too. You can buy most of the holos near mint for like $20 or less. That might be getting a little harder. I noticed there was usually only 1 or 2 options for each holo as I was going through those sets. But yeah, the Secret Wonders has a lot of good stuff. First off, the Mew in Secret Wonders is really good. The Charizard's really good. It's got Venusaur in there, and I believe it has Blastoise too. Now, the CGI artwork on those Secret Wonders, Diamond and Pearl cards, it's a little bit chunky, but it's really starting to grow on me, and I'm glad I just went ahead and snagged them. And these are all for binders, right? I'm not telling you go out and buy a Secret Wonders Charizard and a PSA 10 for $4,000. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying, like, I got a PSA 7 for $50, and I'm so stoked to show you guys this card. Like, honestly, like, I'm a Charizard boob, but I can't wait to show that card. I need to put my negativity aside and do more research on those Gen 4 through Gen 6 sets. Yeah, and that's the thing, like, I just want to flesh out these older sets and be done with it, and then we can all get back to just kind of focusing on modern. But, you know, some people have been in the hobby long enough where they've collected these sets, and they decided, look, these sets aren't worth my time. But I'm really at the point where I'm like, if I really am going to do this, I'm not going to master half the sets. I'm going to try and do all of them. It might take me a decade to master every single Pokemon set, but it will be extremely rewarding in that process. And when you find cards, or you buy collections, or you just buy stuff that you don't really care about, it will matter more if you have those cards bindered already, and if they're like a missing piece of the puzzle, you know, like, that's kind of the fun part for me, is finding those missing cards that are a piece of the puzzle. I'm starting to move away from, I really need these Grail cards, I really need this Gold Star, I really need this Crystal, I really need this Shining card. I do need those cards, and I want them. And like Chaos, like the first edition, all those first edition Gen 1, Gen 2 Pokemon, I badly want those. But for now, working on completing sets. Need to see SDC. Japanese hype is crazy. I could go down a wormhole with this one, and I think we'll come back around to it before I read everybody's comments. Right now, the Japanese phenomenon is crazy. The Japanese phenomenon is crazy. Now, I will admit, a buddy of mine here in Charlotte has a lot of really nice alternate art, full art cards in like 10s, and he also has them in Japanese 10s. And my goodness, I am going to make a video on this. I get it now. I get why people love Japanese Pokemon cards. I 100% get it, and I agree with it. It's beautiful. They're gorgeous. They shine differently. Everything just looks better on the Japanese card. And the best way that I can put this is the texturization on the Japanese cards is so much better than the English variants. But should you be buying those cards for a premium? That's up to everybody to decide that has the money set aside to do that type of thing. I personally feel like I cannot afford to invest in Japanese duplicates for the cards that I like the most. They are just insanely expensive, and I think that market is inflated, and I think that market really needs to come back down to earth a little bit too. Whether it's old Japanese or new Japanese, they're all insanely expensive. All right. Moving on. Pokey Steve, sup homie, showing love from Jersey. Yo, what up, Pokey Steve? Thank you for joining us. Calvin B. Cards, Gyarados EX Secret Rares from Breakpoint. Calvin is right on the money. Seriously, check out that Gyarados Secret Rare. It is amazing. That card is amazing. A PSA 9 is $100. PSA 10 is $400. That card's, the texturization is phenomenal, and that's the biggest deal with the Japanese cards is the texturization differences. Chaos Emperor. I need to untighten my phone a little bit. I think it's making the screen do weird stuff. There we go. Chaos Emperor. I do really want the full art Lugia from Plasma Storm. Trying to remember. I think I know exactly what one you're talking about. And that card is beautiful. It's the only full art that I see when I type in Pokemon Black BW full art. There's a Lugia, and it's phenomenal, and I love that card. And it brings me all of the high value vibes. Like, that card should be a $2,000 card, in my opinion. That card should be a $1,000 card. But it is what it is. And, you know, I've had a friend show me these in person and kind of beat it into my brain that, like, these are really undervalued. And he's right. I'll give it to him. We disagree on a lot of stuff, but he's right on that. And that card is beautiful. And I'm glad that, you know, I'm finally looking at them. I sold the Latios for $1,000, went to $3,000. Hate to see it, bro. Hate to see it. But maybe, you know, you thought that it was overhyped and it would come back down. And I think that's a fair point. I think that you maybe didn't make the worst play ever. There's a lot of people that feel like they missed the boat around $1,000, but I really think that card should still be in a PSA 10, maybe $1,500 or $2,000. We don't know how many more of those are out there in people's sock drawers, right? People are still finding first edition Charizards. There's no reason they couldn't find those Latios's. Now, granted, you got a Charizard pretty much in every booster box, right? Or like almost for the base set cards, for the old gen cards. Now, you're not getting those hype chase cards nearly as much, and it was just as hard, I think, in the Sun and Moon era, in the Black and White era, in the XY era. They've made it really, really hard to get the cards we want most, so you end up buying singles. But yeah, Plasma Storm is one of my buddy's favorite sets, and he's really put me onto it. He's decided to only keep his Black and White mastered sets and his XY mastered sets, and that's like, I think 10 sets total maybe, or 12 sets total. Or yeah, for those two generations. So that's really, really cool. You know, they're easy sets to master. The cards are beautiful. Shynotic was one of the early subscribers on this channel. I remember that name. I feel like you subscribed when I had like 200 or 300 subscribers. I'm not sure. But I usually remember names. Donnie. What's up? Donnie's an OG as well. Calvin's definitely an OG. I mean, definitely just a bunch of OGs in this live. Calvin B, I really like Majestic Dawn due to the Glaceon and the Leafeon level X shine and artwork, in my opinion. So, I am right with you on Majestic Dawn. For me, it is the hollows. It is the regular hollows. It is the Glaceon and the Leafeon, like you said. Those are both hot from that set. People still want those cards from that set. I assume they just look up, you know, people who love Glaceon or Leafeon. They're gonna go after cards in those sets. And I'm guessing the level X's are slightly more premium to the hollows, so those will be a bit more expensive. But yeah, all that stuff I feel like is undervalued right now. But yeah, Majestic Dawn is a pretty strong set too. I'm really looking forward to finishing up Stormfront. I haven't gotten started with Stormfront. I have a lot of bulk from Stormfront, so I know that I have a good chance to like master Stormfront fairly easy. All right, Jodo Jake in the room. Yo, what up, Jodo Jake? What up, dude? And I feel like, Jodo Jake, I feel like we need to do one of these double lives soon. I honestly don't look out for doing lives with people, but if we could just do like a spontaneous, like, I'll message you on Discord, hey, you want to go live, you want to have a discussion, and then we can have two people bouncing off each other. I really liked having Chaos on here. That was a lot of fun. All right. Ani Life, good evening, Orion. Yo, what up, fam? What up, fam? Thanks for joining us. Calvin B. I like how a lot of XY sets have those gold border cards with multiple Pokemon. It's like they're the first tag team cards. Dude, they are nice. Like those gold borders, I love gold. Let me be frank on that. Gold is a very attractive thing. So when you see it on a card, that may sound stupid, it might sound foolish, but for me it makes perfect sense. I really like shiny things. Might sound stupid, but it's just who I am. And I see those gold edges on those cards and I'm blown away by it. And it's simple. It's just shiny cardboard, but for some reason I'm like, if I'm gonna spend a lot of money on this and go into a craze of buying singles, I want it to be XY and black and white. The Sun and Moon stuff, it's just too expensive. Sun and Moon stuff is too expensive. There are some beautiful XY full arts. The Blastoise XY full art. The Venusaur XY full art. And do you know, there are like, I think there's only 21 Venusaur PSA 10 full arts in the entire country right now for PSA 10, for PSA. So when I realized that, and you look at a PSA 8 full art Venusaur from XY that's like $70, you're like, why do I feel like this 8 is extremely undervalued? I know the PSA 10 is the total premium, right? But there should be some serious value going towards those 8s and those 9s, even if they're not perfect. They should have more value than they do. I just see an extremely undervalued market for all that middle era stuff. All right, Ani Life, SDC, is it English or Japanese? CD Guardian, sup Orion, I see Chaos is in the house. Yo, what up CD, how we doing? Chinotic dude, hell yeah, thanks for remembering, love the discussion, and listen, even if I can't make the lives mostly. Dude, that's what it's all about. And it's a random live. Like, I'm not expecting to have a huge show out in any of my lives, but I want it to be a fun weekly thing. I'm off every single Wednesday. Next Wednesday, I actually have to cover for a girl that's going on vacation, so I'm working all week next week. So I'm going to try and do more videos, but it's going to be hard. Until my wife and kid go to Portugal for the month, that's going to be the only time that I have to do videos like day in, day out consistently. But man, I wish I could do these lives more often. Ani Life, I got my Japanese Latios GX alt art for $150 before Sun and Moon alt art go to the moon. Oh my goodness gracious. Wait, you mean the heart Latios, you got that in Japanese for $150? Dude, my hat is off to you, bravo, but I just didn't know that card existed, to be honest. I didn't even know. I didn't know much about those. Donnie, congrats on 1900, by the way. Feels like yesterday you were at 600. Dude, absolutely. It feels like yesterday I was at 100. Thank you so much. Calvin B, I really enjoy the reverse holo. It's nice and simple, but the shine is unbelievable. I think reverse holos have a place, and I'm really appreciating Scarlet Violet giving us 2 reverse holos. I know that Scarlet Violet giving us more and giving us holos in every pack, I know that that's destroying card prices, but it's okay. It's okay. Not everyone is going to keep their stuff in good condition. You're going to have a lot of cards get thrown in the trash. People just don't care about it because there's so many of them. And eventually everything will stabilize. But I appreciate that Pokemon Company is giving us a better experience when we're opening up these cards. Because like you guys saw, if you guys watched my recent video that I just did today, just talking about what's going on with Sun and Moon, and the 1,900 subscribers, which is huge. You saw that I opened 3, or was it 2, Evolving Skies packs, but I opened one in another video before. I have not gotten a single thing in Evolving Skies. So it's like, I like that these newer packs that we're getting, we at least get something no matter what. It's a super nice change of pace. And then the double reverse slot, plus we could get a trainer gallery card. That's awesome. Jodo Jake, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm going to hit you up one of these days. The Real Tech Geek. Dude, we got the Real Tech Geek in here. He's an OG. That was one of my first donations I ever got on a live stream. Thank you so much for coming out to the live, checking things out. We're just talking about these sets. We are talking about, Diamond and Pearl, XY, Black and White, how they're kind of forgotten. And I feel like absolutely no one is mentioning Heart Gold, Soul Silver, which kills me because I haven't gotten into that set, but I'm sure it has some really good stuff to offer. I particularly think the theme decks from Heart Gold, Soul Silver are astonishing. I can't wait to get my hands on them, but right now 125, 130 seems a little bit high. If I could win those Heart Gold, Soul Silver theme decks for like 75, 80 each, I think I'd be happy about that. And even that is a crazy price to pay today. All right, let's see. They should bring back those gold borders. They should. Thank you. Also, congrats on getting that card super cheap. Jessica Stewart. Awesome. I have not seen this name before. What sealed Sun and Moon set would you see as the best long-term investment with current prices considered? Would you rather have sealed Hidden Fates or Tag Team? Personally, for me, it's the Team Up box all day long. The Team Up box is the best box to get. You have a chance of getting that Latios, and that gamble alone will command that box going up and up and up, right? If that card in a 10 is worth 3,000 and you have a chance, your best chance to get a 10 out of a fresh pack, and even getting it out of a fresh pack, you might not get a fresh 10. It's the Team Up box. And it's kind of obvious. If you look at Sword and Shield sets and you say, what's the best set to buy? It's the most expensive set. It's Evolving Skies, because that has the highest value chase cards in there. And it's not just the Latios. We got to remember, we could get a lot of those really high-end cards out of that Team Up booster box. So even though it's a $2,000 box right now, maybe $2,100, I think that it's still worth it. I know it's crazy to say that, and I think if you could find one, I think I would pay $1,500 for a Team Up box. I paid $700 for my XY Evolutions box, and that set has a lot less to offer than Team Up. But Team Up, I would pay $1,500 for that box on a dime. If someone had a Team Up box in front of me right now and was like, "You do $1,500 for this box," I would do it. I wouldn't even ask any questions. I'd be like, Team Up box. That box is gonna go up really well down the road. That's a $10,000 box in my opinion in the next 5 to 10 years. But you also have to have that money to put up too, right? Like if you're gonna put up $2,100, yeah, you deserve to reap all the benefit and the rewards for a box like that going up to $10,000, $20,000. You deserve that because you're willing to put that money up front for that box now. It's the same thing with older sets. I still think that the base set unlimited box could go up a lot. That's not a sealed box, that's just a wrapper around it, but I do have 17 sealed packs in that box. And I know I always revert back to vintage, and they're not the same at all. There's way less growth in vintage than there is with modern, but I still think that each of those packs that I bought for $300 to $500 area from the same seller, I think, because it was just auction after auction, I think each of those packs could be $1,000, $2,000 a pack down the road. Even the unlimited stuff. Even though I know a lot of people are going to flame me on that and be like, Ryan, unlimited base set packs will never hit 1,000, 2,000. Everything in Pokemon is speculative, but all this stuff seems to just go up over time. Some of it exponentially, some of it logistically, and it looks cleaner on a graph. But yeah, I hope that helps, Jessica. I know a lot of people liked Unbroken Bonds. I know a lot of people love Hidden Fates, so it's also preference too, right? If you can spend less money and get a really good return or a similar return on that stuff, go for it. But me personally, I would go with a Team Up box because one day if I could afford it, I would open that box and hope to pull something incredible. you want to be excited about the stuff that you're holding on to too, which is hard because it's like, I want to say we should invest in every set in every generation. When it comes out, that's when the price is the cheapest. But sometimes, it might be smarter to buy way more of the most popular set. It's going to be more fun to open down the road. It's going to appreciate better, but it's just less risky to buy a little bit of every set. Okay. Market Scraper. Wow. Market. Gotcha. Chaos Emperor. Dude, I really need to start my own channel. This inspires me. That's what it's all about. YouTube is very inspirational. I watched YouTubers and then I was like, you know what? I have a lot of stuff on my mind. Let's go for it. Ryan, what's it going to take for me to get you to grade cards? Oh boy, here we go. Jodo Jake. For me to grade cards, I have to stop buying so many, right? Like, you're looking for specific cards and to make a good move, and I'm looking to just like Kirby all the cards into my mouth. I'm just like, I'm just trying to suck up. I'm just trying to get as much Pokemon cards as possible the soonest, which is why I don't grade my cards, because it takes time, it takes money, and that would take away part of the experience from just being able to buy more cards. But eventually, I need to stop being such a lazy degenerate and start grading cards, because that is where you're going to get the most value back on cards. Luckily, my auctions haven't had any trouble, so I'm just kind of letting things run for now. Calvin B, I think the Silver Dialga EX from XY Phantom Forces has a lot going for it in the future. It's the only silver card they ever made. Interesting. I think that's a cool point too, and I think somebody could find that helpful. Also, people are fans of different artworks, different Pokemon. I'm not a huge fan of Dialga or Palkia. I'm really like a Gen 3 Legendary fan. And also, to be fair, I didn't play Platinum, Diamond, Pearl. I didn't play those Game Boy games, and those Game Boy games had a lot of impact on how I collected TCG. I played Sapphire Ruby religiously. Emerald, I played it religiously. So like Groudon, Kyogre, Rayquaza. Anything in there, those Pokemon and on any card that look good, which there are some really good full arts in black and white, those appeal to me the most. But it's different for everybody, and that could be useful for somebody that really likes Dialga. So check out the Phantom Forces Dialga, guys, if you guys are big Dialga fans. Dialga is growing on me, though, and I feel like if I played Diamond and Pearl, I would really, really appreciate that Pokemon a lot more. Onilife, XY, EX, Full Art, Secret Rare, Ultra Art, PS8 to 9 is pretty cheap. Absolutely, and that's one thing I'm trying to pound in to this live right now. Chaos grading has eluded me ever since I started. I'm still collecting, so it's hard to invest the money into it. Right, it's like you're collecting so much, there's so much that you gotta do, there's so much that you gotta get. If anything, I'm just gonna buy the cards graded because so many other people are doing it. Especially if it's cheap enough, and I'm factoring in $15 out of the card, and nothing on the market currently or in the past week has beaten that price, I'm gonna buy the card graded already. Although it would be cool to grade my cards, I've only graded one card ever, and it's a Shadowless Charizard, and all I did was go into a Comic-Con, and I dropped it off with Beckett. That was it. Though I'm still thinking about the Crystal Lugia, it's too damn clean. Dude, I need a Crystal Lugia. And that's another thing, I'm just avoiding going after the grails right now, because if I buy a grail card, it's going to seriously throw me off financially. I can still buy a ton of cards that are just regular holos or full arts, and I can kind of go crazy and still be financially sustainable and still be saving money every week. But that's hard to do when you want to buy gold stars, crystals, shinings. Those three are just constantly ringing in my head. I need to get these crossed off, but I feel like I can't do it. I'll get there though. I'll get there. Onilife, back in 2020, even 2021, Sun and Moon English Alt Arts, still very cheap, and the most expensive one, still around 90 to 150. That's crazy. I think when 2022 started, people began to go back into Sun and Moon and see those cheap alt arts and start buying them up. Absolutely. For a lot of people getting into Pokemon, I'm sure a lot of people were checking out Sun and Moon during the pandemic. And that could be a big reason why the price is so inflated to where it is. Some people think it's just correcting. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. I think the price is insanely manipulated right now. And you know what? I'm not helping. I'm looking at bidding on that card at these insane prices. I'm considering it before I even get the gold stars that I want and the crystals or the shinings. That's how much that card, that's how much its presence means to people right now. Like, I think there's something about the heart and the Latios and Latias. There's something about that heart and the gold foil behind it that's it's really, there's a metaphor there. There's, you know, Pokemon, it's supposed to be a loving community, but there's so much, like, there's scammers, and there's people ripping each other off, and there's sleazy people, and there's liars, and there's a lot of bad people. This is why we have YouTubers like Rattle Pokemon who call people out on a daily basis, because there's so much, like, negativity in this hobby. There's so much toxicity in this hobby. Let me tell you. Now, you guys, my fan base, my subscriber, like all you guys, I think I've been lucky because we've been in an echo chamber of like really, really cool, good energy, good people. But that's what that card represents, in my opinion. The heart and the Latios is like, it's at the core of what Pokemon is supposed to be about, right? Love, your community, you know, reaching out to other players and collectors and connecting and forming connections and relationships and making friends along the way. That's what Pokemon is all about. So that's what that Latios card represents to me. And that's why it may just keep moving on up. J-Dub, yo, thanks for joining us. Poetry for Some. Now, Poetry for Some is another big OG. Not that I need to put this out here, but Poetry sent me this absolutely incredible Japanese CD promo Charizard, and I still rant and rave about it. It means a ton to me. That was like right after I got my P.O. box, and I was like, no one is ever going to send me anything. And then I got that card, and I was like, this is like, it blew my mind. And I still have the P.O. box because I've kind of just looked at it as a future investment. Like, if I have this, I'll be able to just tell people, look, I have a P.O. box in the future. Yeah, back to Poetry's question. What do you think about the market spike in the tag team cards? I think it's ridiculous. Again, I'll refer back to this card. These are kind of the V cards, right? They're not worth that much, but they're still trending at like $10, $15 a piece. V cards today can barely get $1 to $3. So these cards are hitting 15, and then you've got the alt art cards, which I don't have any of. I will say I am kind of proud of one particular card that I have. I bought this card by mistake. I also bought the Pikachu from Cosmic Eclipse by mistake. This is actually a really beautiful card. And then let me get that Pikachu. But I think the tag team cards are a little overrated. I think the alt arts are pretty good, but that market's crazy right now. It needs to calm down a little bit. Once people see how many of those cards are out there, those prices are going to come down. Those cards are, guys, it's 2017, it's 2018. Those cards are only a couple years old. They're everywhere. I'm telling you. I'm trying to look for... Oh, God. Here it is. This was one of my favorite cards that I picked up during Sun and Moon era. It wasn't that expensive. I think it was like 25 or 30 bucks or something, but I picked this up, and it still hasn't even moved that much then. But this card is beautiful, by the way. I do think that these like secret rares are really, really good. I don't really even like Piplup that much, but the Piplup secret rare from Cosmic Eclipse or Team Up, that card is beautiful. But again, I think it's really, really overpriced. I think people just need to chill with those cards right now and let those cards come back down to earth a little bit. For grading, that is on my previous comment. Also, I want to say that if you just go on eBay and you look up Sun and Moon alt arts and you click on the little graph icon, it shows you the graph, and like, it's ridiculous. It's not sustainable. So I don't know. Mathematically, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but also Pokemon doesn't make a lot of sense lately. lately everything is going up in value, right? Fusion Strike cases are now $800-900, right? That's insane. It was yesterday when Nostalgianomics had a video that I watched, and he was like, right now Fusion Strike is $80 a box, and I'm buying a lot of it, you know. And I thought to myself, I'll get a couple boxes, but I never bought a case, and that's a big regret of mine. And it just goes to show that like modern Pokemon, it just keeps moving up. So maybe this whole Sun and Moon thing is going to sustain itself. It's corrected, and it's going to keep taking a leg up, and it's the time to buy. Maybe you should FOMO into it, but I can't afford to FOMO into it, and I'm probably not going to. But I will let you guys know if I end up being an idiot and impulsively buying the Latios card. I can't wait to show it on the channel if I get it. But the main Grail cards, just to be real quick, the main Grail cards that I'm after are the Gold Star Pikachu. The Gold Star Pikachu, I want that card. I love Pikachu, and that Pikachu is phenomenal. That is like one of my top #1 cards I really, really want to get my hands on. And then the Rayquaza Gold Star. I love Charizard, but when it comes to the Gold Stars, I would much rather have a Pikachu or the Rayquaza Gold Star over the Charizard Gold Star. The Charizard Gold Star is like one of my lesser favorite Gold Stars, but you know, a buddy sent me a picture of his 9 today. It's a beautiful card. It is a beautiful card, but everybody has something a little different that they want. I really want the Gyarados, I really want the Mewtwo, but like the Crystal Lugia, that's a top hitter. The Skyridge, Gyarados, Gengar, and Umbreon, those are top hitters that I need. I don't even know. I'm going off on tangents. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just excited everyone's asking questions. J-Dub, hello, everyone. What's up, J-Dub? Shinotic, the heart of the cards. I don't know if that's a Yu-Gi-Oh reference, but yeah, so the heart in the Latios card. There's this card, this alternate art card in Sun and Moon set, and it's kind of a Latios and Latios, and they're kissing, or they're looking at each other, and there's a heart in between it, and it's a cute, bubbly card, but like it's also a beautiful card that symbolizes a lot of good in Pokemon, even though it's mostly capitalism, consumerism, and a whole lot of buying and selling and gambling and addictive behavior. But that's me being really frank, real quick. Dunkin' Donuts. What's up, Duncan? Yo, excited for the upcoming content. Great conversation. What do you think about the long-term value of the rainbow cards? Should we be looking at some of these now when the price is low? I'm really a big fan of the rainbow cards. I like the rainbow cards. Personally, I bought some Celestial Storm cards because that's the only Sun and Moon box that I have, because I just liked that Blaziken was in there, and Rayquaza was in there, and Articuno's in there. And I recently just bought all of the full arts, the rainbow cards. Yeah, I just bought all those cards for Celestial Storm, and I think the rainbow cards are phenomenal. I personally have to have the rainbow cards. I think that they are so good. I think they're so good. Like, I think it's kind of like, if you guys are familiar with 2002, or maybe it was 2000, 2000, Legendary Collection came out, and all the cards kind of look like this. All the cards kind of have this kind of foil print on them, right? And at the time, it wasn't that great. It was actually kind of annoying, and it gave you the vibes that the cards were almost fake. It looked weird, and I remember I didn't care about it, and I remember kids didn't care about it around me. And I barely ever saw those cards. I feel like people just tossed them, threw them out. I really feel like Legendary Collection, those reverse hollows, which I guess that was the first reverse hollow, but it was a special hollow, and it was kind of forgotten about. And I feel like the rainbow cards are kind of like that. It's a special hollow, and it's beautiful, and some people just don't care, and so the price isn't doing much. But I think down the road, people are going to come back and be like, these are phenomenal. I have to have these. I like the rainbow cards a lot. Shinotic, yeah, it was a Yu-Gi-Oh reference. Word. And I want, like, guys, I don't just want to do Pokemon. Like, that's the thing. Like, I love Yu-Gi-Oh, and I have a Yu-Gi-Oh collection too. Not as crazy as Chaos's, but Chaos's collection is crazy overall. But like, I want to get into Dragon Ball Z, yo. I want to get into collecting modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Even. I want to get into Digimon. Like, I love all that stuff. So it's really hard for me to just try and stay focused with Pokemon when I like the other TCGs. I just can't afford to go after all of them. Stupid expensive card, Latios and Latias right now. Yeah, no, it's not a rationally priced card right now, I don't think. Ani Life, Shinotic, are you in Orion's Discord? I will show you. David Demore, what's up, my man? Yo, what up, David? Ani Life, I'm not, but I'll join the Discord now. I've been meaning to join. Yes, our Discord is growing. You guys, like, I feel like we started the Discord yesterday, but really we started the Discord, like, I feel like 4 or 5 months ago, maybe even 6 months ago. So we're still not at 100 people in the Discord. Once we get to 100 people in the Discord, that's going to get kind of interesting. I think we're going to have a lot of ideas. People posting more, bouncing off of each other. Yeah, okay, we are caught up. I have to join later. I forgot I'm logged out and don't have the password on me. That's all good. We are all caught up now on questions. So whatever questions come next, I'm going to try and answer them quickly and be on top of it. Because we're going to end the live at about 19, 20 minutes-ish. I want to keep it about an hour. David Demore, how's the fam? What was that, David Demore? Yeah. How's the fam? The girls are really good. We went to the pool. We spent the whole day at the pool. So that was really nice. I'm kind of sad. I'm kind of sad that they're going to Portugal. I know that while they're gone, I'm going to be able to get video content done, and I'm going to be able to hit the gym a lot. And that's great. I'm going to focus on myself, and I'm going to try and meditate, and I'm going to try and channel a lot of energy and focus into being productive and getting stuff done. But I'm not going to lie, it's going to suck. It's going to suck. When you've gotten used to having, your partner and your child with you all the time, it's going to be hard waking up every day and walking around and the house is empty. I mean, I have my dogs. I have my bearded dragon. So I'll be hanging out with Zard. I'll be hanging out with the dogs. But it's going to be sad seeing them leave. But in that month, you guys are going to see a lot of me. So I've got my YouTube family, and that's cool for now. So I'll be able to make it through August, hopefully. On your life, Shinotic, no problem. Ping me when you get in, but I'll probably show you tomorrow because it's kind of late on my place. Union Arena is a new Japanese card game with a bunch of different big anime in it. It was a fun rip. I ripped the Hunter X Hunter box. Huh. Union Arena. And it seems like they're coming out with a lot of TCGs now. More than ever, they're realizing like TCGs can work. We've got Disney coming out. You've got Lorcana. David Demore, how's your mom doing? Damn, David, you're hitting with the real questions tonight. My mom is doing much better right now. She ended up going through dialysis, which really she did not want to do. For anybody that doesn't know much about kidney transplants, my mom is going through that process right now. We still haven't had a donor, but we have somebody that we think is getting far along, but they can't tell me anything about it. My mom, she can't be told anything about it. There's a privacy thing. Everything is confidential, but basically, as your kidney is failing, you have to go on dialysis, which means you have tubes in you, you have a surgery to get a tube put in you and catheters, and you have like fluids and minerals and things that help you metabolize things and kind of filter things because your kidney is not working at full capacity. My mom is going through doing like several 3 to 4 hour processes, one at the end of the night, one in the morning, and 2 in the middle of the day, which, guys, that's like 12 to 16 hours of like kidney dialysis that you're having to go through just sitting there while this thing filters stuff. It's miserable. My mom is really upset about it. She's kind of depressive about it. But my mom is in a better condition now in dialysis than she would be if she wasn't. And I'm kind of just starting to get used to the fact that my parents are getting old. Everybody's going to go through this. And they've had a good life, and I've had a really good life with them. And, my dad is there to help my mom, and she's going to get a transplant. She's going to get that transplant. I know that she will. But right now, it's just good that she's on dialysis. David, thank you for asking that question. I know it's off topic, but like, that's a question that needed to be asked. You're always asking about my family. You're always asking about me. I really, really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. You know, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer to people either, though. You know, I don't want to, like, bring in my problems. Like, everybody has problems. Like, that doesn't mean that I'm going to be like, what's up, guys? This set is coming out. Like, I might not always be so happy because that's going on. But I also, this is a separate thing, and it's kind of my escape from reality. You know, I think that's why a lot of us collect and, you know, play Pokemon and collect the cards. Thank you for asking that. Ani Life, CD Guardian, do you think Pokemon has gotten a little carried away with all the rares, holo rares, ultra rares, secret rares? Pulling a holo is a toss now. It feels like, plus the pattern is the same on all cards. The pattern should be different. Right? The holo patterns should be different. They should spend a little bit more time on that, but we also don't understand the fundamentals, like the monetary side of it, the financial side of it. We have no idea how hard it is to change holo patterns or do different print types, right? Pokemon has been setting this stuff up for us to consume if not years, months in advance. You know, they're in headquarters, they're planning out what sets are coming out, they're setting this stuff up, and they want it to be a standardized thing. The last time we saw these crazy texturized cards was Black and White era and XY era. And my buddy today or yesterday made a really good point. He was like, it's because no one was collecting Pokemon. People were playing the game only. So like, they were trying to make the cards really, really cool because people were actually playing the game at that point in time. Whereas now everyone's collecting. They already know they've got us by the hook, so they're just getting lazier with the patterns and switching things up. But the alternate arts are really an awesome new thing that Pokemon's been doing since Sun and Moon. I didn't even know they were doing that in Sun and Moon. But yeah, all the rares are kind of ridiculous. Also, it's sad that the typical holos are worth nothing now. Like, nothing. Calvin B, thoughts on the shinies from Shining Legends? Are you going to binder that set? I really want to go after the shinings and Shining Legends. I think everyone is starting to hop on board with those, and they're getting a little pricey. I think those need to come down just a teeny tiny bit for me to go after them, but I'm also thinking, like, I need to just wait for a convention to buy, like, the cards, the certain cards that I know that I'm going after. That's why I'm, like, ordering all these random singles for old sets, because I don't want to bother myself with looking for that stuff when I'm at a convention. When I'm at a convention, I want to be looking for the cards that I've been trying to get for years, the cards that I've been thinking about, the cards that, you know, I go to bed and I'm like, damn, I spent a lot of money on a bunch of bull crap. I really should have just saved my money and bought that Grail card today. Like, that's the card that I'm going to go with cash, and hopefully I'll save with no fees and no shipping, and I'll be able to get a Grail card like that at a convention. I don't even remember what the original question was. Thoughts on the shinies from Shining Legends. But yeah, maybe I'll just look them up on eBay. I know I really want that Lugia, because it seems like all the Lugia cards, especially if it's got Shining on it, that could go up a lot. But I kind of consider the Shining cards from Shining Legends, I kind of consider that kind of like Radiant cards, you know? I feel like it's kind of treated with the same rarity, but then again, I think Radiant cards could go up a lot, so Shining cards might go up a lot too. But yeah, people keep mentioning that. I need to go after those cards. CD Guardian, hope your mom is good, man. Sorry to hear about that. It's life, dude. It's life. Hope your mother gets that kidney and recovers soon. Thank you, Ani Life. Thank you. I appreciate that. Trey Statum, or Statum. I collect tops and starting to see an increased interest, and not chrome tops and chromes seems to be coming down. Do you ever see OG full arts taking off? OG full arts. I think this is what we've been talking about since the beginning of the live. I've been talking about Black and White era and XY era. Those are the OG full arts. Abso-freaking-lutely. I've been saying it this whole time. The OG full arts have already taken off. They're already taken off. But right now is a great time to get in because I think we know that they're about to take off. the Sun and Moon craze, I don't think is justified, but the full arts that are in black and white and XY, I think that those could very well be justified. Those are older sets; they deserve to appreciate more. But there's this huge argument in the community that modern stuff has more growth and will appreciate more than the older stuff. But I think like modern, it moves quick and then it comes back a little bit, and then it's more logistical growth. Other than the chase cards, right? Pokemon is way more popular now than it was a couple years ago. So now chase cards are immediately 200, 300, 400. And it's craziness. That's where the hobby's at right now. It's not like, oh, the chase card is 70, 80, 90, 100 bucks. I need to get it before it hits 100 bucks. It's like right out the gate, you've got a $300 card. Which that's a whole new thing for Pokemon, I feel like. Pokemon hasn't had that for a long time. Yeah, I think that answers it. I do want to say, though, that the first edition Charizard, when Pokemon first edition base set hit in 99 in the US, everyone was clamoring to get those cards for their kids. As were anime collectors, TCG collectors of Magic. They were like, this Pokemon thing is going to be huge. So, even that card was, I think the box was like $300 when it dropped. It wasn't like an $100 box that everyone could get their hands on. No, it was expensive. Hobby shops had it, but you had to pay a premium for it. I know this from listening to King Gary talk about his Charizard collection. Now, that would leave you to assume that you could buy, I think you said you could buy like a PSA 10 Charizard in like a hobby shop like that, or just a really nice raw one for like 100, 150 bucks. So that was another time, that first box ever, but that's justified for cards to be really expensive out the gate. I don't understand why the Umbreon and the Rayquaza were so expensive, other than the pull rates being really bad. That justifies how expensive they are, because you're going to have to open that many packs. You're going to have to open $500 worth of packs probably to get the Umbreon. Some people have been luckier from Evolving Skies, but myself, not so much. Alright. But I do think there's a huge market for the Topps cards, and I actually have some packs that are unopened. I was going to keep opening them for the lives, but I suddenly realized, one, it was not sustainable for me to keep opening cards on the lives that were older. It was going to cost me way too much money in my collection, and I want to see that stuff appreciate. And two, I already pulled the Topps, the Pokemon movie. I pulled that Charizard on the stream, which was pretty freaking cool. And I pulled like a really, really beautiful hollow Charmander. But I'm going to show you guys that Charizard that I pulled in one of the lives. But I love Topps cards. I would love to open up some Topps booster boxes. I've already started my sticker binder. I've already started my Topps binder. I would love to finish those out, honestly. Trying to find... Yeah, here it is. And honestly, this card could definitely be a PSA 10. But this is a Topps Charizard that I pulled. It's a non-holo, but I think this thing is gorgeous, and I'm hoping that it goes up in value over the years. But it was really, really cool to pull this card myself out of a Topps movie pack. Like, not many people can say they pulled a Charizard out of a 1999 Topps movie pack. That's pretty freaking cool. And like, sometimes it's about the experience, right? That's why a lot of us are opening Pokemon cards now. It's all about the experience, right? We all want to get those good pulls, but honestly, the older product, if you're going to open sealed product, open older sealed product, because you have a way more likelihood, as long as it's weighed and you know that it's a heavy pack and it's going to have something, or you buy a Topps booster box. I think that would actually be a fun ass investment. Buy, pardon my French, I don't curse much on the channel, but buy a freaking I'm gonna buy a Topps booster box one of these days. I'm gonna buy a freaking Topps booster box, or a couple of them, because that would be sick to have in my sealed collection and maybe to open some more of. But I think opening those Topps packs is so rewarding. So I love Topps. I would love to get my hands on the Topps Chrome collection. A couple months ago, my last part before I leave Topps. A couple months ago, I saw a listing. It ended for like $750. It was a table from this guy in New York. He had a table full, like tip to tip, cards stacked on each other. Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3 Topps cards stacked on each other. You know, we saw the Hoenn Pokemon, Blaziken, you know, we saw Trico, all those Gen 3 cards. We saw Gen 2 and Gen 1. It was literally 3 generations of Topps cards all over a table. And looking back, I was like, $750? These people are crazy. But I should have put a bid in for that. I should have put a bid in with how much I personally like the Topps cards. I should have put a bid in. Guys, if there's one thing you should take away from this, ultimately you shouldn't follow the crowd. You shouldn't follow what other people are doing, even if it's working. You shouldn't necessarily do that because it might leave a hole inside of you. It might leave a void inside of you. Collect what you like. For me, I've been betraying myself a little bit because I'm a completionist. I'm trying to get all these sets figured out. But honestly, I could collect Charizards endlessly. And I could collect, those Topps cards are like another thing that I love them. I almost like the Topps cards more than I like the old like the first gen packs. I almost like those Topps cards more than anything. So I think Topps cards are great, and I'm gonna stop there. All right. Oh God. Okay, Calvin B. That was the next one on the list. Praying for your mom and your family. We are here for you, man. Thank you, Calvin. I appreciate that. Where are your graded Charizards? Haven't seen them behind lately. So it's just kind of a flex. It's kind of a flex, but since you're asking, I will get out. I know I've got one here. I've got one of my first edition ones here, but I keep the other one locked up. If anything ever happens here, if anything ever happens, if my house for whatever reason got ransacked, right? Some crazy freak thing happened. I would want to have one first edition Charizard locked away that no one could get to. Yeah, this is the first edition Charizard that I have in the room with me now. So I've got 2 of these. This one is the thin stamp version, which in my opinion looks way worse. I think it looks way better with a thicker stamp. But I've been thinking about cracking this one out. Like it's crazy to think about, but potentially cracking it out and maybe resubmitting it. You guys probably can't tell from the back, but like this got a 5. This thing is way nicer than a 5. Like I feel like they graded this card extremely harshly. I think this card easily could be a 6 or a 7, but whatever. I got a really good deal on it, so regardless, I don't care. The hollow pattern is exceptional on this one. I remember when I got this card, we did a live on it, and I was like, guys, like, I don't know if this card's real. Like, I've stressed out so much over buying this card, but it's finally in the collection. Finally have one, and I don't care that it's a 5. I love it, and it's beautiful, and I have been beating myself up about this card for so long, and it never gets old. I have a Venusaur in a 5 and a Blastoise in a 6, and I'm hoping to upgrade those this week to a 6 for my Venusaur from a 5 and a 7 for my Blastoise. And I know you guys are going to say, why don't you just jump to a 9? Because I want to upgrade all of them as I go, and then I can sell the old ones, hopefully when the market goes up a little more, and it'll kind of even out what I'm spending. But put that guy away. This is the Shadowless one that I sent in with Beckett. It got a freaking 5, which sucks, but yeah, I think that was not my best first experience with grading. It still raised the value of the card a lot. I got this Shadowless Charizard for like $370 or $360, something like that. I think a 5 right now is worth at least $500, so I'm pretty happy with that. It was $80 to get it graded. That puts me at $450, so the card gained a little bit of value. A BGS 5 could be worth maybe $600, maybe $550, but either way, I still liked having this card raw. So, but I will say this too. I like the Beckett slabs personally, if you've never had a Beckett slab, these are better than PSA. These slabs are so much better than PSA. I don't care what anybody says. A Beckett has the best, highest quality slabs. These things are thick. They feel good in your hand. You want to hold them. You want to look at it. Like, honestly, just looking at this, I'm a huge Beckett fan. Like, I hesitate buying CGC, but whenever there's a Beckett alternative, I'm like, I could definitely be okay with that because I know the slab quality is really good. Okay. Doop-a-doop, doop, doop, doop. Doop-a-doop, doop, doop, doop. Here we go. Dunkin' Donuts. What's the last card you pulled or bought that got you hyped? I just bought a banged up Charizard from Plasma Storm 2012 that I'm super happy about despite condition. Charizards are very liquid. The condition's kind of a little bit irrelevant when it comes to Charizard. There's always somebody out there that wants to buy Charizards. And funny story, I went to a trade night to a local shop a couple of months ago, and there was a dude there that had a briefcase full of damaged, like heavily played, bent, creased Charizards. And this dude was running numbers. He was killing it. So I think people will buy creased up Charizards all day. It's not for me, but, you know, I could definitely see it. I remember for the first edition Charizard, I considered, like, going to a convention and maybe finding someone with like a PSA 3 and just cracking it, or a PSA 4 and cracking it out of the slab just so I could have the raw card, because I didn't really care about the grade so much. And that's a perfect example. 5s should not be 5s. They should be at least 6s or 7s. So there's my issue with grading right off the bat. But what's the last card I pulled or bought that got me hype? Paldea Evolved. I opened 3 ETBs, and I wasn't getting anything until the 3rd ETB. And then I pulled the Magikarp, which saved me, even though that card has already gotten destroyed. I should have sold that card right when I pulled it. I should have sold it right when I pulled it. It would have left me with a like $20 net loss on 3 boxes. And then I could have just sold 2 of my promos, and I would have gotten to fill out most of my binder, keep 1 promo, and I would have just broken even on everything that I spent. Instead, now that Magikarp is like, I think $30 or $40. So that Paldea Evolved just got destroyed. So that was I was hyped to get that though. I was hyped to get that. I'm not gonna lie. And I have a lot of sleeved packs in here. We've got Brilliant Stars, Battle Style, Silver Tempest, Fusion Strike, Darkness Ablaze, Vivid, Evolving Skies, some Chilling Rain in there. I've got a lot of packs on the sleeves for future lives that hopefully I will open, and maybe we'll pull a banger down the road. So that'll be interesting. But for now, I haven't really pulled anything that crazy. My best cards have been from the Topps packs. Ooh, I also pulled a mint condition Pinsir that's now in my binder, because I'm not getting that graded either, because they don't even get that. Actually, in a 10, it would have probably got a really good price point on it. But I pulled a Pinsir out of a jungle pack that I opened on a live. That was actually pretty dope, although I really wanted the Snorlax. But it's whatever. David Demore, what is the pinned message at the top of the chat? I have no idea. I didn't even know what I was doing. I accidentally pinned that. Trey Statum, I have the #1 top series 3 PSA registry. Whoa. That's huge. 2 years, I'm only at 17% for rainbow foils. Anything over an 8 is hard to achieve. Wow, that's really awesome, man. Congrats on that. Yeah, Market Scraper hit the fire emojis. I'm not sure if that's for the Charizard or for that comment, but Dunkin' Donuts. When I was a kid, my dad once bought me Pokemon cards, and I pulled Charizard. I was so excited and told all my friends I had Charizard. They saw it and said, "That's not a real Charizard. Topps Charizard." Oh no! Oh God! Oh man! Gotta love our relationships with our friends. We gotta love that. Everyone's trying to look out for one another, right? Kids are gonna be kids. Shynotic. That would be awesome to open a Topps booster box. Every card is a full art. Right. So the Topps are kind of the original full arts. And that's so funny. I was super bummed because I thought I'd opened fake cards and got rid of all my Topps cards. No. Oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry about that, buddy. Shinotic, the recent normal hollows have been cool arts, which has been nice, but they need to bring back the Cosmo Hollow. Yes, this we can all agree on. Bring back the Cosmo Hollow. We love it. It makes the cards better. We love it. Now, I will say, they do that with the blister pack promos. I've got a stack of promos right here from like blister packs and like collection boxes. I'm trying to show you guys, but why isn't it showing on that? Here we go. So the blisters do have the Cosmo Hollow. So I like that they still incorporate the Cosmo Hollow with the like blister promo cards. In particular, a blister promo that I missed out on while I was actively collecting Modern was the Evolving Skies 3-pack promo with the Cosmo Hollow Umbreon. That Umbreon, I have to get my hands on that stupid blister promo. Those were so cheap at the time, and I was just like, I'll just buy some boxes. But like those 3-pack blisters are gonna be money down the road. Oh man. Okay. Shinotic. Yeah, they need to bring back Cosmo Hollow, Ani Life, Big Flex, Calvin B cards. At least when you guys put the Japanese cards in the Discord now, I won't be like, oh, it's just more Japanese. I'll be like, damn, that's some fire right there. Because now I get it. The Japanese full arts, the texturization, the quality, it's all there. Is it worth it? That's something that I still have to contend with. Calvin, if you could have a booster box of any XY set that's not evolutions, what would you get? If I said Flash Fire, that would give me a chance to pull the Charizard in Flash Fire, which honestly I'm not even that big of a fan of. A buddy showed me it here in Charlotte, so I'm sure it'll grow on me. It just looks a little bit cartoony to me. I'd probably have to go with Breakpoint. Because I'm obsessing over this Gyarados right now. This red Gyarados, I can't remember what else it has in it. It's got Greninja in it. Can't remember what else it has in it. But the Breakpoint Gyarados, I just think that box would probably be what I would go for that card. I think it's extremely undervalued. I think that's a beautiful card with the gold borders. I'm obsessing over that card right now. I'm sure there's another one that I would want more. I just don't know enough about those sets off the top of my head to pick one. But Breakpoint, I would feel confident right now saying because it has that amazing secret rare. Even though I would never crack a box to go after a $400 card. I wouldn't crack a $400 box to go after a $400 card. I would never do that. And then you have to hit the 10 too, which that's probably not going to happen. Ani Life, imagine you regrade that 5 first edition Charizard and it gets an 8 or somehow a PSA 9. Never. But oh my god. I mean, if you had the right grader on the right day, like, but no, there's the 5s and the 6, there's no way, because there's little whitening on the sides and on the bottom, there's a little whitening here and there, there's a little chip here, no way. Now, 7, I could see somebody who just doesn't care about what they're doing that day, and they run it through, boom, 7, 6.5, I can 100% see that. I can see someone slipping up and doing that. My other 5, I feel strong is really a 7, possibly an 8. An 8 would be, they'd probably be more stringent on that, but it's a Charizard first edition. They're not just gonna like send that one through. They're gonna take some time on it, I feel like. But who knows? Their process might be pretty much set in stone. Maybe it never changes, but it would be really interesting to go to a convention where they have PSA and ask them what their opinion is on what the grade it should get if I cracked it. And if I cracked it, I would still keep the case and I would keep the original grade. And if I went to resell it, I would just keep all that stuff together. Even though people might not believe you. But yeah, that would be nerve-wracking to crack that card. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, Chaos Emperor, I'm back. Did I miss anything crazy? Nothing crazy. We were talking about tops for a second. Went off on some tangents. I remember my cousin bragging about their Charizard card as a kid. Come to find out, it was just the Burger King one. Oh, right? And there are still adults that come into the bar and we end up talking about Pokemon some way. I don't even bring it up, guys. I swear to God. I somehow get in these conversations about collectibles, Pokemon, or old retro video games. I go into those conversations all the time with people. And a lot of times people are like, oh, I definitely had the Charizard first edition. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, no, I don't think you did. I don't think you had the Charizard first edition, because that's like the very beginning of Pokemon. Very few people had it. I know way more people who have shadowless Charizards or unlimited Charizards, but very few people actually pulled first edition cards. Very few people. Boop, 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 boop. Trace Adam, Claude Sire EX is the best card from SV, in my opinion. Oh, get out of here! Your boy said Claude Sire EX. Claude Sire reminds me of Wailord, though, and I think that's why I like Claude Sire. But, yeah, and there's a sick Wailord full art, too. There's like a black and white Wailord full art, I think. Alright. Roller Bobby, you're up next. Do you buy collections from people online in different areas, or only buy from your area? So I've got a buddy that hustles Facebook Marketplace hard. I actually know like 3 people that hustle Facebook Marketplace hard locally. That's another reason why I don't do it, because I know I've got competition. I know there's other people scouting everything. I buy cards from word of mouth. A lot of people at my bar, so I run a family-operated bar with my mom and my dad. A lot of people, when I meet them in the bar, and I somehow get on the subject of like my hobbies or what I like to do in my spare time, I talk about Pokemon, they bring up that they have collections or they had a collection. That's how I buy a lot of my collections locally. Some stuff I haven't even recorded on YouTube. Honestly, sometimes I'm just really excited to get the cards and sort them out. But that's something moving forward that if I buy a collection, you guys are going to see it the same time I'm going to see it when I get home and start going through stuff. I want to start doing that and be better about giving you guys like a downward angle where I'm going through stuff. But mostly everything is through eBay. And it sucks because I want to go to conventions, I want to go to trade nights, but the reality is you're going to spend so much time haggling with people, I feel like. In some cases, my time is more valuable spent at home with my family. I can be on my phone, I can look at any card in the world that I want to, and I can get to work, I can work really hard, make good money, and I can spend that money how I choose. I know that I can get a better deal if I meet people locally, and that's what you should do. You should try to find those local deals. Sometimes I make a Facebook post occasionally where I'll be like, hey, if you know anybody that has Pokemon cards, you know who to call, hit me up. And I've had a lot of success with that. So much so that I don't do it as much anymore because I'll have to go through a bunch of junk. People will like message me that they have stuff and it's really not that great to go through. And then they want a lot of money for it. There was a girl that I bought a binder for not too long ago that wanted like $400 for her binder and said that a shop quoted her that for it. I just couldn't believe it because so many of the cards were like LP or like kind of played. I ended up buying it for $300, but I wanted to buy that binder for like $180. So it's really defeats the purpose of getting a good deal these days because everybody knows that Pokemon cards are valuable. So it's really, really hard to get a really good deal these days. The best bet is like parents that are getting rid of their stuff at like a garage sale. That's like, or like somebody that finds your stuff, that finds their kids' stuff on, you know, and then puts it up on Facebook Marketplace. That's where you can get some really good deals. I used to find stuff on Craigslist, but now I can't find anything but scammers. Watch out for scammers, guys. Don't ever send someone money that says, when I receive the money, I'll send the first round when I receive half the money or like half of the money. There's so many freaking scams out there. And believe it or not, I actually have been scammed before by somebody doing that. They said they had all of the Gen 1 sets complete, all of the uncommons and commons, and I was like, okay, like, what do I lose? And they wanted $100 for like 5 completed sets from commons and uncommons. No hollows. But I was like, $100? That seems good for all those sets. I'll buy them and I'll binder them. Done. I sent $50, never got any cards, and the guy was like, I don't know what I did. You want to send me the address again and I can try again? And I was just like, dude, just forget it. Like, I don't know if you scammed me. I can't prove anything, but like, I'm done. I'm good. Like, that was the stupidest thing I'd ever done, honestly, when it comes to buying stuff. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to get to these as quick as possible. Dunkin' Donuts, speaking of cartoon cards, ever see the Pokemon Rumble cards? I have not. I don't know if you're talking about, like, I don't know if that's, like, Snap cards. I don't know what the Rumble cards are. I believe I've heard of those before. Trey Statham, Ancient Origins for XY, Full Art Lugia. Okay, the Full Art Lugia and the Tyranitar. Right. Ancient Origins, that's a great set, too. And I also now, I didn't remember that set, so now I'm like, oh, Lost Origins, Ancient Origins, Roaring Skies, Evolving Skies. You look at the names and the labels, and you're like, oh my god, this was a continuation of kind of this trend that they've been doing. Anyways, Darkness Ablaze, Obsidian Flames. Dude, I need that Lugia full art though. I need that Lugia full art. And I guess that's from XY. I thought it was maybe from Black and White. Calvin B, what about Roaring Skies? Has a ton of Rayquaza cards. I love Roaring Skies. I love Roaring Skies. A card that's on my list is the full art, the M Rayquaza full art. That card is beautiful. That card is beautiful. Would love to get my hands on that card in like a 9. That card is sick, bro. And at first I didn't care about them. I thought they were a little too busy, too much going on. Totally different opinion now. Opinions change, people evolve the same way Pokemon do. Now I love those cards. Roaring Skies is great. Fantastic. I'm surprised I didn't even mention that. And sometimes it takes a second to jog my brain with this stuff. There are just so many sets, guys. There's so many. Like, my head wants to explode thinking about trying to complete them all. Calvin B cards. What about, oh yeah, we got that. Joel G, you got any team up packs? Joel, I wish I had some team up packs. We have been talking about team up. We were talking about Sun and Moon. I did say that I think team up booster box is the best place to put your money right now. The sealed box, I think, is going to go up way more than the Latios card. Alexander Johnson, let's talk about tag team alt arts. You think it's just hype or will it continue to grow? We've been talking about this in the live so far. I think it's hype. It could continue to grow, but I wouldn't put your dollar on it. I'm guilty. I am looking at team up boxes. I am considering buying a team up box at $2,000 if I can get one. But I think I should wait for a convention, take cash, and maybe have the chance there. But there are so many Grail cards that I want. Like, oh god. It's so hard to be a collector in Pokemon. Sealed stuff is so expensive. Grail cards are so expensive. And then there's all that crap in the middle. It's just, I don't even know why I just did that just now. I should have just used my 3 fingers. But, yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, Grail cards, expensive cards, and all the crap in the middle. Yeah, that's what it is. But, it might sustain the climb. Maybe it just corrected. But I think it's going to come back down. And I think people should wait before they jump in. Give it like 6 months. I think a lot of those cards are going to get a little bit cheaper. Because there's a lot of them out there, guys. Dunkin' Donuts just picked up 13 team-up hanger packs with promo Pikachu, Mimikyu. Will keep these babies sealed as long as I can. Exclamation point. Nice. I bet those were not cheap at all. BMC Design Creations. Hey, bro. Yo, what up, BMC? Thanks for joining our kind of discussion live and listening to my rantings, because I am really not good at staying focused. Life, wish my LGS had trade night. Dude, you just mention it to them. Mention a trade night would really help their business. The problem with the reason that these businesses don't do trade nights is because they think that it would negatively impact their business. What percent of a collection value is a good price to buy a collection for? That's a really good question. Right, like, when I think about mastering sets, I'm like, this is so stupid. I'm spending so much money. Why don't I just buy a pre-mastered set? I would say if a set's mastered and all the cards are near mint, I would probably go at like that's such a vague, I feel like, question. What percent of a collection value is a good price to buy a collection for? Well, if you're buying that much, if you're helping someone either clean out inventory or get rid of all of their like unwanted bulky full arts and VMAX and random hollows and promos, I've got a lot of that junk laying around. If someone gave me 75% of what all of it's worth right now, I would take it. I have made that deal for some people. I have bought their stuff for 75, 80%, and I still think that they're winning because I'm spending hundreds of dollars with all these kind of junk, bulky hollows that I couldn't even get 20 bucks for. And yeah, I could sell them all and maybe bank a profit, but the amount of time I would have to spend to bank that profit would be tough. In fact, right now, I'm considering my auctions moving forward. I've got these stack of blister sword and shield promos for the I've got the birds in here. I've got this stack of bird promos, these Cosmo Hollows, and I'm thinking to just put this stack up for auction just to see what the stack could go for. Because the 3 promos right now together, they're in auction right now in one of my auctions for like $2.25, which I'm actually stoked about because I had no idea what those were going to do. And if I've got, 50 of those, then it's probably better for me to just sell it all together. Anyways, my point is, I think like 70%, maybe even 60% of like the real raw value of cards is what you should offer people. Because one, the sold listings on eBay don't tell you everything. They only give you a time frame of what stuff has sold for. There are some incredible deals that happen throughout the year. And the prices that a card is listed for is not what it's ever going to really sell for. There are very few people out there that I think are looking at cards on eBay and they're like, oh, this is a sponsored listing and it's the most money and I'm going to buy this immediately. I think people are very savvy right now and they're looking for the best deals. Or at least I would hope people are trying to be savvy. So I think like giving someone like 60% or 70% max value on a collection is a fair thing to do, unless it's a collection full of grails, in which case you got to adjust for that. Obviously, if they don't know their grails, you don't have to adjust for that. That's their loss. They didn't do their due diligence. Browntown. Basically, everyone who's on Craigslist is on Facebook Marketplace. Right. Absolutely. Well, Craigslist now charges for you to do ads, which is kind of stupid, honestly. Browntown. Rumble Cards was a set that used art from Pokemon Rumble Wii game as the card art. Wow, that's really cool. Thank you, Browntown. You just gave me some knowledge tonight. So basically, it's kind of like the Snap cards from the Nintendo 64 era. That's kind of cool. Kind of like that. And that's the thing about Pokemon. Even if you got all of the like baseline sets complete, there would be so many special sets, so many promos, so many Japanese variants, so many special contest cards and champion and staff cards. Pokemon is a never-ending journey, and I think that's why so many of us are addicted to it. I think that's why so many of us love it. But I'm always learning something new, and I love that. Trey Statham, Ancient Origins, Lost Origins, and Lost Thunder, the trifecta. Okay, I see you. Chaos Emperor. I don't know enough about those to touch base on those. Right now, I'm really heavy looking into those sets, but I've got a long way to go. Chaos Emperor, Flash Fire, Burning Shadows, Darkness Ablaze, Obsidian Flames. There you go. Putting it together. Chaos Emperor, I would focus on grails rather than FOMO cards. You would be way happier doing that. I know. Especially because once I get that grail, I don't have to think about it anymore. Let alone even really look at the sold listings. It's like, I could look at that Latios. I could win a 9 for like 900, maybe 850. Or I go to a convention, I get the Latios in a 9 for like 700 flat or something like that. And then like 4 months down the line, there's one that sells for 600, and then 630, and then 620, and then I'm like, why did I do this? I FOMO'd into this card that there's plenty of still. There's still a lot of these. 600 have been graded in a 10, but there's got to be way more in 9, 8, 7, and a lot of them have to still be sitting out there. Whereas the Crystal Lugia, that's not in anybody's sock drawer. That's a card that is circulating through collections and other collectors. The Gold Star Rayquaza, that's probably the #1 grail that I really want to go after. To be frank, the Gold Star Rayquaza, I have Rayquaza in my intros in front of my videos and Groudon, even though I don't really care as much for the Gold Star Groudon. But the Gold Star Rayquaza, that's just a badass card. Need that card. Market Scraper, message retracted. Who knows what that was. Poetry for some. I've been trying to get my hands on the holofoil McDonald's 25th anniversary cards and can't get people to budget to my price point. They all want 100, plus when the market is at like 47 total for all 25. Huh. Yeah, I think honestly those McDonald's cards are awesome, and some people are trying to get a lot of money for the master set for those cards. But I'm really interested to know when my Pokemon Oreos are finally going to go up in value. Wait, I gotta show you guys something. I bought a case of these. And this was honestly, like, Pokemon was hyped during the pandemic, but, like, no one was talking about Pokemon Oreos. And, guys, I have no shame. I think that this is amazing. I know that, like, food products and weird stuff that's promotional, there's not really a big market for it. But the artwork on these Oreo packs, I will never regret that I bought a case of these. $50. Who knows what that $50 or like $37, whatever I spent on a case of these, who knows what that is going to be worth down the road. Now, I know these aren't worth anything right now, but I remember when they came out, there was this Mew Oreo, and they were actually selling for a premium because people thought it was going to be a really big deal. But it ended up being a total flop, or at least I think so. Let's see. Whoa. Gotta go back up. Okay. Browntown. Yeah, I don't remember exactly how the Snap cards came out, but if I remember correctly, the Rumble cards were sold like as a complete set. Okay. Interesting. Thank you for that. Chaos. When I got the EX Fire Red Leaf Green Charizard, it was big weight off my shoulders. Bro, that card is sick. The silver Cosmo Hollow borders. I hate you, bro. I need those cards. Oh, God. So many grails, dude. Oh, man. Dude, it's just insane thinking about your collection in general. Poetry, I have even offered 60 and no one accepts it. Personally, I only want to pay $40 for them. Good. Someone will come around eventually, I'm sure. Brain cells on fire. I'm pretty sure some of these gallery cards are going to shoot up in price, similar to the Sun and Moon cards. I do agree with you there. I think that the gallery cards, since they started doing that, and Astral Radiance, Silver Tempest, anybody that wants to complete these sets has to buy these cards. It's not like what I think they're worth. It's just the fact that at some point, if you want to complete all the sets, you have to buy these, which kind of makes it stupid to not try and complete these sets when they come out, because you're just going to end up, if you ever decide, you know what, I'm going to complete the sets, you're going to have to do a lot of backtracking. So, yeah, I think all of them will hold some value. I'm even considering, like, a part of me is like, why am I selling all these V cards for so cheap in auctions right now? V cards could even be worth $5, maybe $6, $7 in the next 5 years, you know? I don't care if I have to wait. I want to get some money back out of all the money I spent opening product. But anyways, I'm probably going to auction everything off anyways, because I'm not too worried about the money I'm going to get from those this close to them coming out. Oh man, this live went way longer. This live went way longer. Guys, I am going to have to close this live up soon, for sure. I didn't even charge my phone. But Browntown, I've been going back to purchasing a lot of the old Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald EX cards. I still need to go after the EX cards. Those, I've only been going after the base hollows right now. Something satisfying about getting a personal grail? Absolutely. Chaos, if you want my opinion, I would go for the Crystal Lugia. It's beautiful, and yeah, it's expensive, but half the price of a Gold Star Ray. It's Gold Star Ray. Everybody knows Gold Star Ray. Not everybody knows Crystal Lugia. And that's not the main point. The main point is that I still value Rayquaza more than Lugia. I still value it more. I wasn't around when Lugia was a thing. I didn't play Gen 2 Pokemon games. I played Sapphire, Ruby, Emerald. So that's why it's a big deal to me. But they're both so strong. They're both such good contenders. No offense, but I thought you were ending the live. David Demore, we are ending the live. I have 5 minutes. At 95 minutes, Brain Cells on Fire, Rayquaza is my fave. Chaos, I feel like I remember my friend got the Mew from that Oreo pack and then ate it. LOL. Bro, sell me that Gengar EX so I can help fund your Crystal Lugia. Thank God I got the Gengar EX. I have something that you still need. It makes me feel good. From a previous message, the textured gallery cards are something I've been picking up for hella cheap, and they are super dope. Browntown, it's the Gold Star effect. It's the Gold Star effect. I don't know what it is about the stupid Gold Stars. It's just hype. It's a hype beast thing, but I've proven myself. I've spent a lot of time buying empty boxes and stuff that I just like for the artwork and the display effect. This stuff, I'm not getting big money for any of this stuff if I went to sell it, you know? For some stuff, maybe, but like something like Gold Star Rayquaza, that's me just saying, you know what? I'm FOMOing, I'm hype beasting into this card that I want. I really want that card. The same thing with the Charizard First Edition. Really didn't need to go after that card, but I really wanted a First Edition base set, even if my most expensive hollows were going to be lower grades. I was okay with that. Ernesto Montano, you guys got 5 more minutes for questions. I've been trying to find a Gengar EX for a good price, man. Such a nice card. Yes, I have the Gengar EX. I have the card. Also, the Gengar from Skyridge. That card is so sick. That card is so sick. All right, any other questions? And thank you guys for coming out to the live. Like, spontaneous live, 20 people in here right now. Get those thumbs up. If you guys haven't liked this live, go ahead and shoot a like on that live. I never ask people for subs or thumbs up, but this was a good discussion. Browntown, I want one of the Rockets Raikou EX cards very badly. That's the secret rare from that set, right? I'm not a huge fan of that secret rare. Bro, I need the Gengar Skyridge so bad. Yeah, that's a crazy one. PSA 9, 13, 1400. David Demore, are you getting 151? I pre-ordered a buttload of 151. So much 151. I will have endless 151 to open. Even though really I'm going to open like 4 products of 151 and I'm going to keep everything else sealed. I think that set, even if it's printed to demand, peace out, David. Even if it's 2 more minutes, even if it's printed to demand, that set is going to do numbers in the future. I don't care how easy it is to get. And I don't really care if somebody saves a couple dollars on their product versus me. I know that I'm in a good position to sit on this stuff for a decade or more, and that's exactly what I intend to do. One, because I'll be able to say I bought a ton of this set and I sat on it while everyone was opening up stuff. But 2, because I feel it in my gut that this is the set that's like Evolving Skies. This is the set I need to invest heavily into, and then for the rest of the sets I can just buy like a case of. And I can be done with it. But this is a set I feel really good about. Not only collecting, but also opening. This is the set that I feel like you're going to really want to open up this set. But we all already know what's in 151. There's not like a big reason to open up all your product. Like, I still think with how much product people are going to open, you're best off to buy your sealed product, open a couple of products, and then buy your singles, because they're going to be dirt cheap like a month or 2 months or 3 months, maybe 4, after 151 drops. People will be selling hella duplicates you will see some cards go for cheap. Do you know if on-site PSA submissions at Collecticon means they're grading at the conventions too? It could be, and it could also take a huge chunk of time out of your whole time there where you could be making deals. That's going to be my issue with going there to get stuff graded. Connor Memia, no, I missed the live stream start. It's okay, Connor. It's okay. At the very least, I'm gonna try, and you should join the Discord. The Discord. If you haven't, guys, if you're in this right now, if you're in this live right now and you haven't joined our Discord, join the Discord. Every time I'm about to go live, I post it in the Discord. And I'm going to try and do more community posts like I used to. I just have less and less time lately. But I will try and keep everybody posted the next live that I do. It was a really great discussion. If you missed it, that's not a big deal. You can rewatch the live after it gets posted up, which what I love about these lives is they get posted immediately. Anyways, guys, I will take 3 more questions. 3 more questions. And we're closing everything out. I bet 3 to 4 months after release, prices will be good too because everyone grading will just be getting their US 151 back from PSA, wanting to get rid of inventory. Absolutely. Absolutely agree with that. Oh man, but I'm loving these lives. I'm loving the fact that like I feel zero pressure. This is what YouTube is all about. Like just doing my thing, getting to enjoy talking to people, seeing what people think. Chaos. Not a question, but I'm glad I joined your community, bro. Dude, I'm glad you did too, honestly. You know, I feel like there's something that everybody can learn from everybody, and even though I've only been in the hobby for a couple of years, back at it, I know a lot of people that have been in it way longer that have stories and information to tell, and the best I can do is just bring that to the channel. But yeah, it's all about the relationships. It's about the connections you're making with people, and that's hella cool. And what's even cooler is that I will probably see you at the Collecticon in Charlotte, and I got another buddy who's confirmed, has his tickets. He's going for the 2-day pass. So there should be at the very least 3 of us mobbing in there together. I know somebody in the Discord said they wanted to go to the Charlotte Comic Con 2, or Collecticon 2. So y'all, if anybody wants to meet up at Collecticon, join the Discord. Join the Discord, because I'm going to let people know when I go to Collecticon. And mind you, I've never went to a Collecticon. I've missed them in the past. I've only gone to 1 convention so far. 1 Comic-Con. That's it. So this is a big deal for me this September. It's going to be huge. But yeah. Connor Mamiya, what's your thoughts on the Mew and Snorlax promo? I'm thinking the value will still be cheap since so much supply. Absolutely. Absolutely. Everything ideally should be cheap. We should look at the Japanese market, which is totally different. There's way more demand, there's way more hype, and the quality is better. We should look at that market and probably price the English cards at half or a quarter of those costs, right? If the Erica is 300, 400, we should probably price that Erica in at about 100, 125. I really think it's going to be printed to oblivion. People are going to be opening up stuff. That doesn't mean you shouldn't get your product, but there were some good points made in somebody else's live that I got texted about, that, you know, maybe we shouldn't all jump on every set as it comes out, and we should be looking for the sets that are right about to appreciate. But that's just not my game. I'm not the type of guy that tries to time the market in any respect. I just do stuff when I feel like it's reasonable, and I try and look at comps. That's the only thing that you can do. Just look at comps. The norm in Pokemon investing today is everything is expensive. We're just having to deal with it. And there's also inflation. And like everything, eggs, milk, everything is expensive. The rent is expensive. Mortgage is expensive. Houses are at an all-time high. You know, they're coming down a little bit, but real estate's ridiculous. The stock market's all over the place. Pokemon, despite the prices being nuts, is kind of a safe haven for investing, in my opinion. I think a lot of people feel the same. Chaos. Oh, dude, you know it, bro. We will go hunting for sure. My friend wants to go check out your bar while we're down there, too. dude, for sure. After the Collecticon, we could go to the bar, whether it's open, closed, whatever, and we could get a drink, talk Pokemon. I don't even drink anymore, but I'm down to definitely have like one beer. David Demore, before I forget, congratulations on 1,900 subs. Yes, let's go. Yeah, I'm stoked about it. I'm really humbled, but honestly, the channel wasn't moving much recently. So I'm like, finally. I'm like, it's about damn time we got to 1,900. Let's hit 2K, and then once we get to 3K, 4K, y'all already know. Like, it's game over once we hit 3K, 4K, because at that point, you're pulling in a lot more people. There's not, like, you don't need to assure people that you're going to be around. They kind of get the idea that you're going to be around, you're sticking around. But hey, I started this a year and a half ago. We're here now. Another year we might be at 3, 4K. Might be at 10K. Who knows? Anyways, peace out, guys. Thank you for coming out. It was a fantastic night. I am going to look at some Pokemon cards. I'm going to look at some shiny cardboard now and enjoy the collection that I have. I never really look at my collection. It's important, guys, to like take a second sometimes and just browse through your stuff. I know I don't do it enough, but we're always looking at the next thing, and it's important to just appreciate what you got. Peace. Good night, everybody. Have a fantastic night.